In this video, we're going to talk about what you do after you've gotten your initial blues melody written, whether you wrote it from just improvisation or whether you did it from starting with 4 notes and then like figuring out a rhythm you liked. The steps are similar for both, so let's check it out. If you improvised your way to your first melody, first 2 measures, then you used your ear to hear something, but I want to demonstrate how it's true for everybody who is just composing, like putting notes on the staff. And that is, if we check out A7 in the first measure, this is our chord. These are the 5 notes of the pentatonic scale. Now we have them at different octaves. So we have 2 A's, we've got a low A. We have A, C, D, E, and G. And these 4 notes are the notes of that scale that are going to sound good with that chord. So even if you are just kind of like guessing, putting things randomly there, you've got a 4 out of 5 chance that your notes are going to sound good. So when you were composing and you took those consecutive notes, and changed the rhythm, and then added your second measure, even though I've got some D's in here, I've got 3 out of 4 notes in each measure, 3 out of 4 beats that are perfectly lining up with the notes that are going to sound good. So the notes in the chord that are going to sound good are these, and it's 4 out of the 5. Now, we made our 2 measures, and here's what I want to show you. Those 2 measures are going to repeat the exact same way, or, I mean, if you want to have a slight variation, that's fine. Wherever you've got this A7 measure. So once you've got your first 2 measures, you actually have 2, 4, 6 measures. And that goes right along with blues bass, the way that the bass line repeated. So we're going to use that information and apply it to the melody as well. Now, think about blues bass. The pattern was the same, the rhythm was the same when we went to D7. And so let's check out D7. 3 of my 5 notes are going to sound good. So if I just play some stuff and use my ear, it's probably going to sound fine, especially if I do something deliberate like start on D or C or A. And if I'm writing notes on the staff, if I'm figuring it out that way, then I can deliberately start on A, C, or D and do the same sort of process. Pick some consecutive notes, do a direction change, going up, coming down, going up, that kind of thing, and changing the rhythm around a little bit. You might have luck if you use the same rhythm from your first 2 measures, or maybe it's totally different. You can have a contrast, and sometimes that's cool. So that's going to happen pretty quickly for you here. Try to use these first 2 measures as inspiration, whether that's inspiration to do the same thing or something different. And then try to emphasize these notes. You can have the other notes, but try to get 50% or more of the notes in these 2 measures are D, C, and A. Now, when we had the turnaround in the blues bass, it changed there. There was some relation. We're in the same key. It had some of the same movement, but we can have a real contrast here. We can have something brand new. And so maybe that's what we're doing. If you're improvising, you can see that if you're just playing random notes, you've got a 3 out of 5 chance that it's gonna sound good. And so that's pretty cool. And you can up those chances by starting on G, starting on E, or starting on D. And then you can do the same. Once you get to the turnaround, you've done this process a couple of times. So you can do the same thing when you get to D. When you get to A7 here at the end, some people are going to be tempted to just like put these two measures in there, here's the one thing I want you to be aware of. The last measure, we want it to sound done. We want to sound like it's finished. So you're probably going to end on a whole note or end with like quarter, quarter, half. But we want a longer note at the end. And one of the best notes to end on is going to be A, or low A is fine too. But that's going to make it sound like it's done. Do you have to do that? No. But I think that if you're going to break some rules, it's important to know what the rules are so that you know you're breaking them. You're not just doing random stuff. So you've got all of this information is on the written sheet. If you're having trouble writing down a rhythm that you need, that's fine. Talk to me. I will help you write down a rhythm. Really, I want you to be creative here and come up with something that sounds good to your ear, but also that you can play. So make sure you're going back and playing it on the guitar as you write it. Ask me questions in class, and I'll see you next time.